Loki episode 2 now out on Disney Plus for you guys to go and check out. We're going to talk about it. Let's get to it. Okay, so episode 2 of Loki is now out on Disney Plus for everyone to go and check out. And look, I absolutely loved the first episode. I thought it was exactly what I was hoping the first episode was going to do. It was going to bring us back to this world that we left in with Loki, Sylvie, and Mobius and the TVA. And I thought they did a fantastic job reconnecting us with these characters and then showcasing the threat moving forward for this season. And showcasing Kang in a way that we hadn't seen so far that really hyped him up to be this real big threat without actually appearing on screen. So now we move into episode 2, and I was hoping they were going to build on from episode 1 and really give us a more in-depth look at these characters and what the purpose of this season is going to be. And episode 2 was just as good as the first episode, if not better. And what I absolutely love about this episode is the emotional weight at the end there of this episode when everything goes downhill, when they realize what the actual mission was. Because we saw in the last episode all of the people going to get Sylvie, but that wasn't really what they were aiming to do. They sent one guy to go find her, and the rest of them went to peel and get rid of all the other timelines, just absolutely destroy them. So they were there to prune every single timeline that isn't the sacred timeline, which is absolutely insane. And when that occurs in this episode, I thought they did a fantastic job at showcasing you the emotional weight that had on everyone in the TVA. Like, you remember these guys in the TVA, they were like completely 100% on board with pruning timelines. But when they found out the secret, they found out the truth behind the TVA, behind what was actually going on, to now see them, their character develop, TVA character, develop into a position where these timelines are getting pruned and you just feel like billions have died. Like, you feel like billions are gone. They cease to exist now. They're completely done. They weren't even given a fair chance. And you saw that in Mobius. You saw that in B-15. You saw that in Casey. You saw that in all of them. That was just absolutely fantastic, the way that they built it up to that moment. Another thing I absolutely love in this episode is Loki himself. I love Loki and Mobius when they are going back and forth. I love these two characters. That's what I love about this episode, is it's really focused on them and them going through, and the plan they come up with to get information out of the guy who was the right-hand man of the judge there, as he's known as Brad in this episode. How they get the information out is absolutely brilliant. And when Brad is giving that speech to Loki about who he is, and then we got to see vintage manipulating Loki come back, was absolutely great. And we got to see Loki at the forefront here. We saw him chase Brad down using his powers again, showcasing just how much of a threat Loki really was back in the day and like what he is actually capable of. And then the interrogation scene is just absolutely phenomenal. It was Loki. That was Loki, the traditional Loki of, being that smartass while also being a very serious person at the same time, while being playful. It brought that character back around to who he was, but didn't lose himself in that moment. He's still a good guy now. He's still trying to go on this redemption arc for all the bad things that he has done in the MCU leading up to this point. He's trying to, redeem himself. And it's absolutely phenomenal. It really is. And Tom Hiddleston, I was just absolutely born to play Loki, man. He is Loki. I couldn't see anyone else playing Loki. He is so incredibly good in this role. And him and Owen Wilson, the chemistry in this episode is fantastic. The way that they're able to bounce off each other is great. Obviously, we find out about Sylvie here now, and I think it works for her character why she is doing what she's doing in that particular time period, because she never got to experience life. You remember, she was only little when she was running away from the TVA, so she grew up with nothing. She grew up with no idea. So her to go back into society and become a person that works at McDonald's and just living life out like that is totally within the character for where she was to where she is now. And I think that is brilliant character development for Sylvie, and it gives her more layers. And then when the TVA stuff does happen and she's there to witness all this, and she still is believing that the TVA is the problem. She still believes as long as the TVA is there, this is going to continue no matter what. So she hasn't changed her belief systems on the TVA, even though Loki's trying to convince her, like, it's not the TVA. Like, the TVA is the last line of defense. We are the only ones that can save everything right now. But she sees it as, you are the villains. The TVA is the villain. They're the ones causing the drama. You get rid of them, and there is no drama. And I love that she has that stance, and Loki has his stance, because then it has this clash of morality between both of them. Like, the morals are coming together. They're clashing, which is brilliant. Because if they're both agreed, then it's like, what's the point? What is the point? But having them on the different ends of the scale when it comes to the TVA makes for interesting storytelling, and that's what they did. And you could feel the tension and the awkwardness of that moment where Sylvie and Loki come face to face since the end of last season when they were, with Kang. And you could feel it. You could feel that Sylvie didn't really want him to be there. She didn't really want to talk to him. And you knew Loki was like, how do I talk to her? How do I, tell her this when she's made up her mind here? I've got to try and convince her to be able to, do a 180 on what she believes and come with me and fix this issue. So that was all great as well. Then we have the stuff with Obi. I'm so glad they brought Obi back. I hope Obi is a character that is throughout this whole entire season. I'm so glad he's just not a one episode character and they got rid of him, because his character is so much fun and so good. And then when you see him in here and he's trying to access the computer and he couldn't. So there's another mystery there. So they can't actually do anything about this overload that's happening with the TVA, with the timelines and everything like that. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with that. But I love when Casey and B15 go down there. And Casey, who loves the handbook, loves the guidebook, man. And he sees Obi there. And he's like, wait a second. You're the one that wrote this? And it's like Obi's like this guy that he idolizes. I absolutely love it. We need a show. Obi and Casey, man. Obi and Casey. We need that show. I don't know why, but those characters are so much fun. And when they're interacting, absolutely fantastic. So, obviously, we have that action sequence when they all go, when Mobius, Sylvie, and Loki all go to stop the pruning of the timelines, and they start fighting and, try to stop this big military mission that's going on to have this. Obviously, it doesn't work. They still get pruned, but then they get a hit on Renslayer's tempad. So now they know where she is. I cannot wait for next week's episode. I cannot wait. Dude, so far, man, Loki is easily the best MCU show. Easily, man. It easily is. These first 2 episodes, I haven't been this excited for MCU for a while now. I mean, I really enjoyed Guardians Volume 3. I really did, but I wasn't, excited for it. I wasn't, jumping at it. Ant-Man, I was like, cool, I'm excited for Kang. But it wasn't I still had reservations, and that movie wasn't that great. And then the shows throughout haven't been good in between either. So this is one that I have been excited for, because I did love the first Loki show season. Now I'm so excited for this show moving forward. I'm really excited. So let me know what you guys think of this episode. Did you love it? Smash it down there. Smash that like button. Click subscribe. And I'll see you guys next video. Until then, stay safe and peace out.